The year is 2008. Episode 374 of the One Piece anime is airing on TV for the first time. Our hero Luffy is in a long drawn-out fight against Gecko Moria to not only protect his crew, but all of the prisoners trapped on Thriller Bark. After a long and destructive battle between titans, Gecko Moria falls to Luffy, biding his time till his return.
Strat, you bastard! Just you watch! You think you had it tough so far? You don't even know tough. But don't worry, the real nightmare's waiting for you in the new world!
4 now. Which is a Gecko into...
Yeah, there's the Moria, getting the 4-drop clues on.
Yep. And play Epic Jam Moria.
Wall blockers, walls for South before I Gecko.
I play even for like a second Gecko. You have to play to what's going to get you the win, not play not to lose.
There we go. Yeah, but
sense?
we do have a rad beam that I missed there, so that is a way to keep this Marco around. It's a heavy cost to do so, but
Yep. Speaking of heavy cost.
Super wide board from Moria here, being able to play the Rebecca into the...
Every Gecko deck should be running 4 back over there. And then, so, I mean, what's gonna say?
In March of 2024, Series 6 Wings of the Captain for One Piece card game was released in North America. With the release of the new set comes new leaders, boss monsters, and strategies. Set 6 introduces the double attacking leader Yamato, the third Uta leader, and of course, Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria made waves in the community. Typically, Black Deck's main strategy involves using cards and effects to lower the cost of your opponent's cards in play. Once lowered, cards and effects target the low-cost characters, often KOing them in the process. Gecko Moria still had these benefits, however, it had another aspect to the deck. In other TCGs, there are decks that use their discard pile or graveyard as a second hand of sorts. Many cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon directly interact with the trash pile to put cards back in hand or play them outright. This playstyle is often called reanimate decks. Series 6 Gecko Moria is a deck built with this mechanic in mind. Gecko Moria's leader effect is when attacking with 1 Dawn attached and resting 2 more, Gecko Moria will trash 1 card from hand and the top 2 cards from the deck. After discarding, Gecko can play a 4 cost or less Thriller Bark card from the trash. It's a strong effect, but having the requirement in place makes it so you need to be cautious of what cards you are building into your deck. The requirement keeps it in check. In comes the boss monster SR, Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is an 8 cost 9000 power card with a powerful effect. On play, choose up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less and 1 character with a cost of 2 or less from your trash. Play 1 card and play the other card rested. Already this card is a menace to deal with. An 8 cost card with 9000 power is a threat on its own, but the effect is something else. At the cost of 8 Dawn, you are allowed to play 2 more cards on top of that, adding up to a total of 6 Dawn, essentially getting the value of 14 Dawn with 1 card. Keep in mind, the max Dawn a player will have in a game of One Piece card game is 10. Having no limits to what cards, other than cost, Gecko can grab made this card a true menace not only in Gecko Moria decks, but all leaders with the black color. This means that Gecko can grab any 4 or less character in the game, regardless of leader being played, color, or type. Another interesting aspect is how the character is played. With how the card is written, Gecko plays both characters at the discretion of the player. The turn order plays in favor of Gecko. Because Gecko plays both characters at the same time, the effects of the characters happen at the same time, so the player chooses how they are played. This means that if so chooses, the 2 cost effect can trigger first and then the 4 cost effect, or vice versa, the 4 cost effect first and then the 2 cost effect. But it does not matter which is rested, as the player can choose whichever is most beneficial to keep standing regardless of effect order. And this effect was utilized to the max extent in Gecko Moria decks. There were aggressive combos like Gecko, Absalon, and Helmeppo, allowing you to pop a 5 cost or less on the first turn Gecko Moria is able to be played, having an 8 cost and 4 cost standing and safe from being attacked. Or you can use Gecko plus Sindri plus Hogback to fill your trash and find a better target for Hogback. maybe you need to play a little bit more defensively, so combos like Gecko plus Borsellino plus Spandam allows the players to have a blocker standing while searching their deck for more counter cards. The versatility made this card so powerful. Many decks in this format use several 4-cost characters to utilize Gecko Moria in a variety of ways. And all these combos utilize just 8 Dawn and some cards in trash. With 9 or 10 Dawn, playing cards like Suru, Ice Age, and Great Eruption can help make the Gecko, Absol, and Helmeppo combo K up to a 10-cost character for 9 Dawn while establishing 3 characters of your own. Gecko Moria made waves instantly. During the first Series 6 regional in Santa Clara, Gecko Moria made up almost 50% of the top 16 decks, with 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place all playing Gecko Moria. And while each list has some slight variations, each deck had one thing in common. They all played 4 Gecko Morias, the max allowed for any single deck. But while Gecko Moria continued to tear into the early Series 6 metagame, something else was brewing. Other decks had also taken advantage of Gecko Moria as well. Because of the lack of restrictions, decks like Sakazuki were able to find success in the OPO6 metagame. Sakazuki was a powerful leader to pair with Gecko Moria. Sakazuki had 2 effects that could both be played each turn. First, Sakazuki can once per turn discard 1 card from hand and draw 1. No limitation on what card must be trashed or requirement to do this effect. This allows Sakazuki to put their ideal Gecko Moria target into their trash prior to playing Gecko. Gecko Moria Leader also had an effect to trash cards from hand, but doing so required swinging into your opponent and paying 2 extra Dawn to do so, putting you at 7 Dawn and unable to play Gecko the same turn. Sakazuki did not have this restriction. On top of this, Saka had a second effect. When attacking, give -1 cost to one of your opponent's characters. This gave Sakazuki that extra little push to KO certain targets with Gecko Moria, and the combos were terrifying when playing against one. Gecko Moria plus Lucci plus Helmeppo KOs a character with a cost of 2 or less and a character with a cost of 1 or less. With event cards and character cards like Suru, Sakazuki players would have so many options for destroying boards using Gecko. Saka also had access to Gecko, Borsellino, and Brand New for a defensive option, playing the blocker and searching for counter cards. But the combo when Sakazuki reaches 10 Dawn is where the real power lied. Gecko Moria plus Rebecca plus Hina plus Helmeppo plus Amano Murakumo or Houndblaze. With 10 Dawn, Sakazuki plays Gecko Moria to play Rebecca and Helmeppo. Helmeppo can -3 cost of a character on the field. Rebecca is a blocker and on play grabs a cost 3 to 7 black character from their trash. Then, Rebecca can play 1 3-cost or less black character from your hand onto the field rested. This card can be a Hina, a 3-cost 5000 power character that also decreases the cost of the opponent's character on play, giving a total of -7 from this combo alone. Then using 2 more Dawn to play either Houndblaze or Amano Murakumo to bottom deck an opponent's character with a cost of 2 or less. This reduction can remove a 9-cost character from the field. But wait, Sakazuki has the second leader effect. When attacking, give -1 to a character, meaning that if the right cards are in the trash or hand, for 10 Dawn, Sakazuki can play a boss monster, a blocker, another character that can swing for 5000, and remove a 10,000 cost or less character from the field all in the same turn. In doing so, many cards are required to be in the right place at the right time, and this is one of the more ideal combos, but the fact that it was possible made Gecko Moria a constant threat in Sakazuki decks. Even without this combo, Saka was able to utilize pieces of this combo to still remove many characters from the field. Gecko Moria gave Sakazuki an incredible amount of options to play with, and helped Saka earn several top results in tournaments. Series 6 in One Piece card game was an interesting format for North America. With Series 6 came Starter Deck 13, the first Ultra deck which included 3 leaders and a special pack with alt art cards. As well as Series 6 came Extra Booster 1. EBO 1 was a mini mid-set release that included some new leaders and cards. The most prominent card to come from EBO 1 was Brook, a 3-cost card that on play and when attacking, decreases the cost of 1 to an opponent's character, then KO a character with a cost of 0. This card made for an early game threat, helping black decks to start minusing the cost of opponents' cards and KOing them earlier. Plus, Brook is a target for Gecko Moria. Then there was Starter Deck 13. Starter Deck 13 had 3 leaders, a blue-yellow ace that has lots of search, a red-yellow Sabo leader that has lots of power manipulation and utilizes triggers, and then there's the strongest of the 3, black-yellow Luffy. BY Luffy is a complex deck, and arguably one of the toughest decks to pilot, but once mastered, this deck can be an absolute menace to any opponent. BY Luffy has a condition that is always active. Your face-up life cards are placed at the bottom of your deck instead of being added to your hand according to the rules. So, if BY Luffy has a life card face up and he takes a hit, the trigger cannot be played and it cannot be used, it goes straight to the bottom of the deck. But when Luffy has 2 Dawn attached, once per turn activate main, BY Luffy trashes 1 card from hand. If you have 0 life cards, add up to 2 character cards with a cost of 5 from your hand or trash to the top of your life cards face up. So BY Luffy is encouraged to reach 0 life early so they are able to utilize their leader effect. Let's look at some of the support cards BY Luffy uses. BY Luffy has very little deck variability. Main cards BY Luffy uses are related to the 3 Brothers theme, 2-cost Sabo, 2-cost Ace, or 2-cost Luffy. These cards all have a similar effect. Activate main, trash this character and reveal the top card of your life. If the card is a 5-cost card of the respective 2-cost, then play it. If you play it, your leader gets plus 2000 power until the end of your opponent's turn. 5-cost like 5-cost Sabo, 5-cost plus 2000 power Luffy, and 5-cost Rush Ace were BY Luffy's power cards. Gecko Moria, however, took this to another level. Putting everything this deck has together made for a deck with synergy like no other. BY Luffy leader effect allows you to place 5-cost characters from your trash to your life. Because these cards are picked by you and face up, using them in combination with the 3 Brothers 2-cost cards lets you use their effects, playing the 5-cost cards and gaining 2000 power each until the end of your opponent's turn. So if you are able to successfully use your leader effect and use the 2-cost character effects, your leader will be a 9000 power, making it very difficult for your opponent to do any damage to you during their next turn. With Gecko Moria, BY Luffy 10 Dawn turn is devastating. BY Luffy has 0 life. Add 2 Dawn to leader. Leader effect. Add 2 5-cost characters to life. Gecko Moria grabs a Sabo, Ace, and or Luffy from trash and plays both cards. Activate main for both cards, playing the 2 cards in life and gaining plus 4000 power to leader. BY Luffy swings for 11,000 because of the plus 4000 and the extra 2000 from the 2 Dawn cards. Rinse and repeat. The 2-cost brother cards are now back in the trash and ready to be grabbed again by a second Gecko Moria. As long as the BY Luffy player is paying close attention to their hand and trash, they are able to do this combo multiple times in the game, but the outcome can change to be most beneficial for that situation. Playing 5-cost Sabo is not only a blocker, but your character cards cannot be KO'd by effects until the start of your next turn, so your opponent is unable to remove your cards that were just played with effects. Sabo also draws 2 and trashes 2, helping you place those needed cards in the trash for your combo and find new brother cards to play. Ace and Luffy help with dealing damage and winning games. And of course Gecko Moria is still on the field, a 9000 power card on its own. BY Luffy has a big learning curve, but once players started to master it, the results showed. There were multiple wins and prominent placements throughout the EPO 1 meta. It was a tough deck to play, so there weren't many, but we were just getting started. Going into Series 7, Gecko Moria had prominently featured in multiple meta decks already. OPO7 introduces a new black color leader to the game, Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci, when attacking, trashes 2 cards from the top of your deck, then gives up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. Rob Lucci uses many cards with a CP type, which allows the EB card Spandine to become a new prominent card. And the new Gecko combo just got even stronger. Gecko Moria plus Rebecca plus Helmeppo plus Spandine plus Rob Lucci. Gecko Moria grabs Rebecca and Helmeppo, decreasing the cost of a character. Rebecca is a blocker and grabs Spandine, or another 3 to 7 card if Spandine is already in hand, and plays the Spandine. Spandine places 3 cards with CP type from the trash to the bottom of the deck and plays a CP card of 4 or less, often Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci on play places any 3 cards from the trash to the bottom of the deck and KOs a 2 or less and a 1 or less. Gecko Moria for 8 Dawn, getting the value of 21 Dawn, in a game where 10 Dawn is the max. Now we have the benefits of a 9,000 power and a 6,000 character on the board, but also a blocker to help protect, and cards that can be replaced and sent back to trash to do Gecko combos again with. Lucci had many results, but Law made this difficult. A hard counter to black colored decks, and as a result, Gecko Moria was bottom decking. Bottom decking is an effect that removes a card from play and essentially the game, as now that the targeted card is at the bottom of the deck, it will be difficult to see it again. Sakazuki and Law both utilize this heavily in their game plan against Gecko Moria, but changes were still happening. In June 2024, Sakazuki was banned due to how replicable their ideal game plan was with little risk. In One Piece Card Game World Championships played in Series OPO5, the top 4 placements all played with Sakazuki. Red Purple Law was a deck that was also able to consistently bottom deck opponents' cards, essentially removing them from the game. Because these cards were not being KO'd, Sabo's effect could not save them. In September of 2024, Law was also banned. Being able to bottom deck cards made it very difficult for any deck to defend against, and removing these 2 leaders from the game was a necessary move by Bandai. But now the floodgates were open. Gecko Moria was about to come back stronger than ever. Series 8 and 9 saw an influx of BY Luffy and Lucci, making multiple top placements. Regardless of the support black colored decks got, one card that did not move was Gecko Moria. These decks always ran 4 of. Finding Gecko became very important in many matchups, and their game plan often revolved around these powerful combos. It's been a long year, playing Series 7, 8, and 9. Now we make it to the One Piece Card Game World Championship once again. The One Piece World Championship is an invite-only tournament where 32 of the best players from around the world compete to see who is the best of the best. Unfortunately, Bandai Namco only streams top 3 matches, so we are unable to see footage from any of the previous games in the tournament. Thank you, Bandai. Played in March 2025 in Series 9, many decks were still incredibly viable, but as we've seen throughout 2024, Gecko Moria was too big of a presence still. 2 of the top 4 decks were Rob Lucci, both utilizing 4 Gecko Moria. Bandai has also taken notice of the prominence of Gecko Moria. After the winner was crowned using Rob Lucci, Bandai revealed some plans for what was coming in the future, and of course, the new ban list. As of April 1st, 2025, Gecko Moria has been banned. Not only that, but Ice Age, a card that often helped Gecko Moria get those bigger bodies down the KO range, was also banned in this list as well, thus ending the era of Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria left a strong impact on the scene as a whole. As such, seeing Gecko on the ban list was not too unexpected at all. It was a strong card and could be used in so many different ways. Going forward, it's unlikely we'll see another card with dominance like Gecko Moria did. In Series 10, a 7-cost Rebecca had a similar effect. On play, if there's already a character with a cost of 8 or more, draw 1 card. Then, reveal up to 2 Dressrosa type character cards with a cost of 7 or less other than Rebecca from your hand. Play one of the revealed cards and then play the other card rested if it has a 4 or less. It's still a strong card for decks like Black Blue Usopp, but requires the cards to be in hand already to play them. Plus, it identifies which card is rested, and they also have to be a Dressrosa type card, so the combo potential is much less varied. Also, being a 4000 power character doesn't make this as big of a threat as Gecko was. Gecko Moria was a powerful card, and had a huge impact on the One Piece card game. It made for really interesting deck building and some fun matchups, but it was time to see it go. Maybe one day we see the card removed from the ban list, but for now, it deserves its rest. If you'd like to see more One Piece card game content, please subscribe and leave a like, and let us know your experience with Gecko Moria down in the comments below. And if you like this video, consider checking out my other channel, Golem Save, for more gaming documentary style content. Thanks for watching.